Got everyone here, looks like.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, I have a few preliminary matters. This is Zoe Burgess, your city clerk. The meeting of December 6, 2021, regular city council meeting is being held with a quorum of City of Westlake Council physically in attendance at the Westlake Council Chambers, 4005 Seminole Pratt Whitney Road. Mayor Roger Manning, Vice Mayor John Paul O'Connor, Councilwoman Kara Crump, and Councilwoman Katrina Long Robinson are present. City Manager Kenneth Castle, City Attorney Donald Duty, City Clerk Zoe Burgess, Planning and Zoning Director Nilsa Zacharias, and Engineering Director Suzanne Dombrowski are present and physically in attendance. Please allow me to confirm any speakers that are virtually present and available to speak. Pilar Valleran, are you able to hear, speak, and see?
Yes, I'm able to. Yes, I'm able to not see, but I can hear you and speak.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Public comments may be accepted prior to the meeting utilizing the electronic comment card available on the city's website. Public comments are also permitted at the appropriate time during the meeting. The mayor will call for such during public comment, and you may participate at this time utilizing the system's virtual hand feature and waiting to be acknowledged if you wish to comment. Please note this meeting is being recorded, both voice and video, and to remember your mic may be live. I will mute any microphones that carry any feedback or interruptions. If you are a caller that has been muted, you may unmute yourself by pressing *6. Any person in the virtual meeting causing a disruption or being inappropriate will be removed. If I may also remind those physically in attendance, please utilize microphones so that the virtual audience and a clear recording of the meeting is produced. Thank you, Mayor Manning.
Thank you. To call to order the City of Westlake's Monday, December 6th, 6:31 p.m. Council meeting. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Long Robinson.
Here.
Councilwoman Crump.
Here.
Vice Mayor O'Connor.
Present.
Mayor Manning.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, do we have any additions, deletions, or modifications for tonight's agenda? Show nothing from up at the dais. So could we have a motion for approval? Second.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Long Robinson, seconded by Vice Mayor O'Connor. Roll call. Councilwoman Long Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Crump.
Yes.
Vice Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Mayor Manning.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, we'll open up public comments and requests. This section of the agenda allows for comments from the public to speak. Each speaker will be given a total of 3 minutes to comment. Your public comment card should be completed and returned to the city clerk. When you are called to speak, please go to the podium or unmute your device, and prior to addressing the council, state your name and address for the record, please.
Mayor, we received no previous comment cards. We'll give the virtual audience a moment to raise their virtual hand. If you wish to make a comment, please raise your virtual hand. You have 3 minutes to speak. Please state your name and your address. If you wish to make a comment, please raise your virtual hand or unmute your device and state your name and address. Mayor, we have no comments.
Okay, nothing from anyone here? Okay, thank you. Okay, move on to the consent agenda. We have a number of items on it this evening. The minutes from workshop meeting on 8/23, the minutes of our regular city council meeting and budget hearing on 9/13. Our minutes for the city council final budget hearing on 9/27, and the financial report for October 2021. If there's no comment or no question from the address from the dais, do we have a motion to approve all?
I'll make the motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion by Vice Mayor O'Connor, seconded by Councilwoman Crump. Roll call. Councilwoman Crump.
Yes.
Vice Mayor O'Connor,
Yes.
Mayor Manning,
Yes,
Councilwoman Long Robinson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
thank you. Okay, moving right along, public hearing portion of our agenda. We're gonna start with, a resolution for the replat of Crestwood Pod P, Phase 3.
Yes, sir. A resolution by title only. A resolution of the City Council for the City of Westlake, Florida, approving replat of the plat of Crestwood Palm Beach Phase 3, plat book 132, page 120 to 126. Public records, Palm Beach County, Florida, line section 6, Township 43 South, Range 41 East, City of Westlake, Palm Beach County, Florida, providing for recordation, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. I assume, Mr. Herring, that you have a presentation, sir.
I do. Good evening, Mayor Manning, council members. For the record, Donaldson here tonight on behalf of Coulter and the Crestwinds Palm Beach community. Short presentation. I'll run through it fairly quickly. And I think I need to press the advance button.
The space bar.
The space bar. Okay, here we go.
You'll have to put inside the PowerPoint,
I'll click inside PowerPoint. There we go.
and then you can use the space bar.
Then I can use space bar. Okay.
There you go. Got it.
Here we go. So it's working. All right, so we're here to make a minor modification to what we refer to as the model center area within Crestwind Phase 3, and it's the area that's designated in the white that's highlighted before you. So if you see what is highlighted in orange inside that box are 3 40-foot wide lots that were going to be 40-foot models. And the intent of this modification is to take those 3 40-foot lots and make them the larger 60-foot lots instead of the 3 40-foot lots, as our sales and the need for having some more of the larger product model is really dictating moving forward in that direction. So these are the 3 40-foot lots that are highlighted. Again, in this row, you'll see that there's a variety of the different types of housing product. But what we're proposing is simply to take 3 lots and plat them as 2 lots. So it's the elimination of 1 lot within this phase that will be picked up in a subsequent phase of development. Crestwind in total at build out will be about 800 homes between Pod P1 and Pod P2. So this is that particular plat. You can see the 3 40-foot lots being combined into creating 2 of the 60-foot lots. And the plat has been determined to be consistent with the requirements of Florida statute by your city engineer and their consultants. And we simply would request your approval of that petition this evening.
Thank you, sir. Suzanne, we're all approved. Everything's, as far as staff is concerned. Yeah.
Hi, Suzanne Dombrowski, city engineer. Like Mr. Hearing said, it's been reviewed. Everything's in compliance with the Florida statutes and the city code. So we have no comments and we're recommending approval.
I hear Mr. Herring every week, every time we're here, so I just wanted to hear it from you, that's all. Don, I know I can trust in you, so but. Okay, do we have any questions from anyone on the dais about this item?
Seems like a simple replat. Yeah.
Okay.
Motion.
Motion by Vice Mayor O'Connor, seconded by Councilwoman Long Robinson. Roll call, Vice Mayor O'Connor,
Yes.
Mayor Manning,
Yes.
Councilwoman Long Robinson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Crum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to our next public hearing, quasi judicial, item A, SPM 2021-04.
All those individuals going to testify during the course of this application, please stand and raise your right hand and be sworn. Do you solemnly swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please proceed.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. Nilsa Zacharias, Planning and Zoning Director for the City of Westlake. The application that is in front of you is a site plan modification of a previously approved site plan. As you recall, in 2019, Christ Fellowship was in front of this council, and this council provided approval of the proposed site plan. Christ Fellowship, it will be located on Part J, as shown on this slide. The total gross site area is 12.771 acres. And this is showing what was approved in 2019. There was approved a worship center of 38,155 square feet. Then also future developments for total of 25,000 square feet. And the main entrance is will be from Water's Edge Drive. In 2019, the applicant proposed a full pavement entrance with decorative pavers, as shown on this slide. However, today the applicant is in front of this council requesting to reduce the amount of decorative pavers as shown on this slide. So it will be basically just they are requesting to be located only on the right end at the entrance itself of edge and then on the other side. So that's the reduction that they are proposing. Also, the applicant is requesting to amend the elevations by reducing a number of windows as shown on this slide. They are reducing on the south elevation 3 windows, and on the north elevation also 3 windows. In addition to those 2 previous modifications, the applicant is proposing to change the colors. So I've seen on this slide, the approved site plan in 2019 is the first one elevation, and then the second elevation is the proposed. So they are changing three colors, basically, from light gray, gray O, to decorated white, and then B, the medium gray platinum to light gray, and C, from dark gray Kendall charcoal to wrought iron. So those are the 3 color changes that the applicant is proposing. And then also those colors will be also on this other elevation, which is on the rear of the building. Just as always, I like to put in front of this council the zoning requirements, and this site plan modification is not modifying any of the zoning requirements. So we review planning and zoning and engineering, review this site plan modification, and this specific application, we do not have any conditions of approval. However, and this is what I want to clarify, in 2019, when this council approved the initial application, there is a resolution 2019-39 that provided 3 conditions of approval. So we are coordinating with our city attorney, and those 3 conditions of approval will move forward into this current development order. So this last development order will capture the previous conditions of approval. They were 3. So, and they are included on the resolution 2019-39.
Would you go through those, please?
Excuse me?
Would you give us those again, please? Would you tell us?
Yes,
what
I can.
the modifications are?
Yes, I can. The conditions of
Yes,
approval
yes.
from 2019?
Yeah.
Okay. So number 1 was applicant must have approval from Palm Beach County Fire Safety if road located on the rear of the worship center will be used as a loading zone. Subject to SP 2019-3 must be amended at the time. So basically, at the time this was reviewed in 2019, staff, engineering and planning asked the applicant, are you going to use the rear of the building as a loading zone? And the applicant said, no, we are not. However, if in the future they plan to use as a loading area, then it needs to come back in front of council because it must be reviewed by Palm Beach County Fire Department. So that was condition number 1. Condition number 2, applicant must apply for a site plan review and approval for the 3 future development parcels shown on the Salle site plan SP 2019-03. That is referring to those 3 other buildings for a total of 25,000 square feet. So at the time Christ Fellowship would like to develop those buildings, they must come back in front of council for further approval. So condition number 3, the Isles Way Phase 3 design has been modified from the approved land development permit. The applicant will need to submit for a revision to this land development permit. Applicant shall note that if modification for the Isles Way design are required during the review of the land development revisions, applicant will be required to modify the site plan accordingly. At the time these 3 conditions of approval were in front of council, the applicant reviewed at the time and they agreed with these conditions of approval. So Mr. Hearing is here tonight, and if you have any comments, please. No, if you have any comment with regard to
these.
For the record, Donaldson Hearing, we have no comment concerning the condition. The 3rd condition relative to Ilex Way has actually already been satisfied. Christ Fellowship dedicated additional right-of-way to the city of Westlake and to SID for the incorporation of some turn lanes, and those turn lanes have actually been built and the right-of-way dedicated. The land development permits for the site have been issued, and they're actually out there pushing dirt. So that's, I think, is that right, Leo?
Yeah.
So, but I'll give you a quick presentation when they're.
So you did have something to say. Good.
Something very little to say, but we're in agreement with all the conditions of approval.
Thank you for
Thank you.
going through that and explaining it again. Appreciate that.
And
Hearing.
for the record, Donaldson Hearing here tonight on behalf of Christ Fellowship Church. We do have Leo Abdallah, who is with Christ Fellowship, and Leo and I have worked on many campuses over the years with Christ Fellowship, and it's been a pleasure working on Westlake. I do know that they're very excited to move forward. This is an important night because the permits we're trying to get all of our final building permits, the land development permits underway. We're looking to move forward expeditiously and bring Christ Fellowship to city of Westlake. It'll be a great home out here. Christ Fellowship will be an amazing partner. As Nielsen pointed out, just a couple minor modifications dealing with the functionality of the interior of the building. That's why the windows change relative to the way they do programming within the classrooms and within the kids ministries. And so we did make a minor modification to the pavers in the entrance. I'll be on it. We'll be, perfectly straight up with you that that was a little bit of VE. Prices are probably 40% higher than they were 2 years ago. And so we just tried to keep the same intent. We didn't modify, everything else on the site remains the same, and we're looking forward to moving forward and more than happy to answer any questions that you have.
You just through the reason you said there's modifications to the windows and stuff that was for a reason. I just kind of like to know what that.
Yeah, the changing the windows were in one case we put in high windows so we're up above because we are dealing with children. We try to be very careful about where windows are placed for security and SEPTED purposes. And so as the architects and the programmers for the inside of the building looked at the spaces, they modified several of the elevations to put the windows up high, and in a couple of cases in eliminating them. And if any of you have been to Christ Fellowship facilities, whether here in Royal Palm or at the main campus in Palm Beach Gardens, you know that a lot is done in dealing with video, sound, lighting, and all of that becomes an important part of the experience. And so that's really the change for the windows. And Leo's here; he can go into a lot more technical detail of the exact reason for each room, but that's the big picture.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have any other?
I just had a quick question.
Yes,
What was
Jay.
the reasoning for getting rid of the decorative pavers?
We had, that entire entrance was pavers, and we really wanted to do that. But now that costs are up
So it's
well
about-
over 40%, we still have a lot of pavers, just not the entire distance. So we have,
Cost engineering, understood.
Yeah,
I think we could all understand that.
yeah, sure. Okay. Any questions from the public on this item?
Mayor, I received no previous comment cards. We'll give the virtual audience a moment to raise their virtual hand. If you wish to make a comment, please raise your virtual hand or unmute your device. If you've been muted, please press *6. If you wish to make a comment, please unmute your device. If you've been muted, please press *6, raise your virtual hand, or unmute and state your name and address. Mayor, we have no comments.
Thank you very much. So with that, you have a motion.
I'll make the motion to adopt SPM 2021-04.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Vice Mayor O'Connor, seconded by Councilwoman Crum. Roll call. Vice Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Mayor Manning.
Yes.
Councilwoman Long Robinson. Councilwoman Crum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you.
thank you very much, Mr. Mayor and council members. And since we probably won't see you before the holidays, I'd like to wish each and every one of you a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. So it's been a great year and a lot of very, very exciting stuff coming up next year. So just want to thank you all so much for all of your hard work and staff, everything that they've done, city manager. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Herring. Thank you, and same to you as the holidays are pushing on to us. It's a time to
Thank you very
chill down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. Okay, we're gonna move on to new business and I'm pleased to say we have some candidates here for our open position. And we're gonna give each one of the people that are interested in the position and about 7 minutes to talk about you and what your vision is here, and also give us a little bit of time to ask some questions. So we'll start with ladies first. And I think I saw her on. Pilar?
Yes, I'm here.
Did you hear what I'm gonna give,
Yes.
you're gonna get 7 minutes to please
Yes.
tell us about you and
Okay. So my name is Pilar Valiran. I have been a nurse for 8 years. I work in Palm West Hospital in a step-down ICU. I have lived in the hammock since 2018 with Minto when they just started. I saw the opportunity of starting my new life in this new city. I could see a great plans for Minto. I knew from the moment I moved forward that Westlake will be a perfect fit for me and my family. I'm so grateful to God for making me be able to move into this wonderful community where everyone is friendly and helpful. I feel that this is a reason why I must give back to my community, my knowledge, and advocate for any need. In my career, I noticed that there are many people who are misinformed when it concerns to health. I believe it is very important to offer guidance and knowledge about how to stay healthy and keep our bodies clean, healthy for these times, especially with this coronavirus. I feel that Westlake is a city of opportunities to grow and become a great place to live and help their community being a council member. We are able to educate people with health issues, inform about microorganisms, bacteria, and how people can pass it from person to person. And we can improve our immune system, prevent diseases, and much more. Another thing I find important to focus on are children, because they are the window of the future. I strongly believe that kids should be outside more rather than inside, in front of the computers. We should encourage them to play soccer, football, basketball, and have many places where they can practice. Technology is all around us and engraved in our culture. We cannot stop that. However, we are able to provide more sports centers, parks, skate parks, and more encourage our kids to go outside as much as possible. As well as having more sports available, we should also consider making a private schools for parents who wish to put their kids in that kind of schools, so that they do not have to bring their kids to a different city, and they can have their education preferences. Like Boca Raton is one example of it. Is one of the most desired cities in South Florida. And the major reason is because the education, the options that the parents receive. Um, Private schools, college, universities, many families move there every month to provide their children with better education and opportunities. I feel that if we get to that point, our community will never lose popularity and will always look attractive to the families. And finally, I'm looking forward for the best for my community, and I'm open to listen to all my community concerns for new ideas and opportunities to continue to grow with a better Westlake. And that's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We have some questions from the dais.
So I don't know what everybody's plan was, but I'm not gonna hammer everybody with a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
I'm basically gonna just ask one question per candidate. And I wrote down 3 questions here, so. Pilar, I just want to thank you for putting yourself forward and even in the decision to run for council, it's a huge step, all you guys, honestly, thank you.
Thank you.
How do you plan to involve residents and who are your neighbors in the decision-making process here in our city if we were to appoint you as councilwoman?
So I was thinking about like we have already, our community is very involved in Facebook and Instagram. We are a close community. Everybody's friendly. Everybody talks about. Everybody call each other. But at the same time, I was thinking to open a website where it will be only Pilar Valley Council questions and concerns, so people can reach me from anywhere in Westlake and they can ask me questions regarding the city or their needs, so I can be open to listen to them and reach them.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Pilar, do you have any experience sitting on any other boards or volunteering, anything like that?
So I have a lot of experience volunteering, but not sitting in the board.
Okay.
Honestly, I
Thank
never
you.
been around it, and the only reason why I ran for it is to reach my community and do some helpful work. That's it.
Great, thank you. Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pilar, for
Thank-
showing an interest in running. I do have a question. You mentioned some of your platforms, 2 out of 3 of them. One of them was healthcare. Kind of talk to me about your vision as it relates to engaging community in healthcare here in Westlake. So for example, we do have a couple of boards we have the Education Advisory Board, and we passed the Art in Public Places Ordinance, which will call for a board. What is your vision as far as healthcare, healthy healthcare for Westlake? We do have Westlake ER Center, and you will have medical offices. So as a council member, what would you advocate for when it relates to healthcare?
So yes, you're right. We have Westlake ER here, and it's a very helpful place. I can reach them, but my main focus was the children, because I feel like yes, adults know how to take care of themselves, but I think education with the children is a little bit more profound regarding to health, especially with COVID right now. Kids are not too aware, and I realize that the information in kids is very vague, especially when it's simple stuff like washing hands, before eating, washing hands, after the bathroom, encourage them to wash their hands, to bring sanitizer to the classroom. Very simple things that they will prevent a lot of cases. We had actually in Westlake, we have a big case of corona because the children, when all the children that they were taking the bus to school, they were sitting down in the same places and touching everybody, and then touching their faces, and it was a big spread on coronavirus with the kids in our neighborhood. So those are simple things, because the kids bring the disease home, but they don't know that when they're touching something and then they touch their face or they eat, they will get contaminated. It's just education. Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Well, two questions I was gonna ask are already been asked, and that was, how do you feel you'd most benefit the Westlake community? And the other one was, have you ever been participated in city government or any kind of government before? So I think
So yeah. So my father was actually, he started with a council in my country, but in my country it's different. It's a little bit bigger than in United States. Um, so my father was a council member, and he always was very involved in politics. So I don't have per se the experience, but I really like it. So, but just for the fact of helping the community.
good.
That's
Okay.
it.
Thank you for your time and
Thank
your
you.
honesty.
Thank you.
Okay. I guess we'll move on to Mr. Martinez.
Hello, my name is Julian Martinez. I live at 5935 Bun Bush Drive, and I've lived there since May of 2018. I was one of the first few residents to move into Westlake, and I have enjoyed watching the city grow into what it is today. I'm also here to be appointed for City Council of our empty seat. First, I would like to thank each of you on our council for everything you've done so far. Councilwoman Crump, you're an original resident here before Westlake. All the work you've done to get us where we are today, thank you. Councilwoman Long Robinson, we first met 4 years ago, opening day of Westlake. Met you at the sales center, and your enthusiasm for the city has stuck with me ever since. I want to thank you for that. Also, you pointed me in the direction of the Happy program. It's something I was eligible for, and it helped me out tremendously. Thank you. JP O'Connor, not only a council member, but a true neighbor. Thank you so much for everything you've done. You're involved, enthusiastic, and willing to dedicate yourself to the city. Thank you. Mayor Manning. Who better light the torch to carry our city into the future? Your smile last council meeting vibrated throughout the room. Thank you so much. We're all excited for the direction our city is moving. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
A little bit about myself. I have strong family values coming from a large family. Growing up with 50 plus cousins, we always had great gatherings. As a highlight of every month, we always had something to celebrate, whether it was birthdays, accomplishments, new careers, you name it. To me, nothing is more important than quality family time, and Westlake is a perfect place for that. One of my favorite hobbies is learning to work on things to make them better. I'm a hands-on type of person. I take pride in any work I can do to make something better. These have helped me in my position at work as a driver of the fire truck at the fire station. Along with my hobbies, I'm also passionate about public service. Assisting those in need when an extra hand is needed has always come naturally to me. That passion helped lead me to my profession as a firefighter. I currently work here for Palm Beach County Fire Rescue as a driver-operator, driving the fire truck. And I love that I get to live and serve the citizens that I get to call neighbors. Serving the public as a local firefighter means so much to me. It's a pleasure to serve our citizens in their time of need. I take pride in the service I deliver to the public, on and off duty. Our community, doesn't matter which development you live in, we're all united in our love for Westlake. We all have each other's backs here. Doesn't matter if you need a cup of sugar on Thanksgiving night, supporting each other's Westlake businesses, or inviting over a new neighbor for a gathering. We're more than just neighbors, we're a community. And it's because of this, Westlake has been recognized across the nation as one of the top cities to move into. Our future is why we're here, though. We're at one of our most important stages in our city's history, and now's the time to focus on how we plan to develop. First, we need to make sure we manage our taxes and budget. Our millage rate can stay constant, which shows our city is doing well, but this is where it is key to think ahead and diversify our tax base for the future. We just approved commercial pods last meeting, and we're moving in the right direction. I plan to continue this momentum if I may council seat. Another important focus of mine is public safety. Westlake is a safe and secure place to live. I want to make sure it stays that way as we grow. We need to prioritize our community policing to stay on top of crime in our community. We want to be proactive, not reactive, when it comes to our neighbors, especially our children. We need to continue to foster a healthy lifestyle here in Westlake as well. I plan to do more to incentivize outdoor activities, making use of parks and other outdoor areas to allow residents to spend their time out in fresh air. I hope to be appointed because I love where I live and I take pride in the work that I give, whether it's serving our citizens as a firefighter, a neighbor, or a council member. I want to be the voice of our community, our neighbors. There are many voices to be heard, and each one matters. I can be that voice. I want to make Westlake better together. As a community, we can achieve these goals. I want to thank you for your time to allow me to introduce myself, my vision for Westlake. I truly wish you the best of luck in your decision. Thank you.
Thank you. So the floor is open. JP.
I guess I'll kick it off. That was awesome,
Yeah.
by the way, fantastic.
Thank you.
I love your enthusiasm. It's contagious. It's great. Day one in office, what would you do or change?
Great question. Something I see that our neighborhood is very fond and enthusiastic about is events. Recently, we had a 5K turkey trot that our neighbors coordinated. I took part in. That was great. And I think we have one almost for every holiday now that we have a 5K. It's great. And that brings along, let's get the city involved. Let's have an event. Let's have an event committee. What if we can do something like that, get the city involved and make these events more noticed throughout the city and have more people involved? I think that would be great for the community. And it goes both ways, gets more involved and more people outdoors.
Love my events. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was great.
Do you have any ways or ideas to connect with the community better than just sitting on the board here?
So like Pilar was saying, we also have our Facebook page that for the residents is pretty popular with the residents for them to be vocal, express how they feel, and have feedback with some council members. We have our residents in there as well. Besides the Facebook, I think we can do maybe more in-person meeting versus I'm sure not everyone can make it here out tonight to the meetings. We can do more in person, maybe not just a council meeting, but our council members themselves can set up something on off days to meet with our members of the city. Thank you.
Julie, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 33 years old.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
That's good. You know, I always find it a joy when you find young people want to be involved and sometimes be a punching bag. It's not easy to serve.
Absolutely.
Talk to me. You work for Palm Beach County Fire Rescue or?
Palm Beach County Fire Rescue, yes, ma'am.
So talk to me about the importance of making sure Westlake is inserted as a person on the dais throughout the county. Talk to me about how you would plan on getting involved with boards or what have you throughout the county to represent Westlake in a positive manner.
Right. As a young city, I'm sure many people are looking in our direction to see how we're moving forward. And it'd be great to connect with other cities for us to go to them, show them our vision, what we're looking forward to, and also invite them to what we're doing in our city. I think it's something I'd like to connect with other cities as well to invite them over.
I have a few friends that are firefighters.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, no, they're good people. Believe me, I
For Palm Beach County?
Yeah, a couple from Palm Beach County and one from they work for the city of West Palm Beach.
Okay.
A couple from the city of West Palm Beach that are retired now. And that's a great profession.
I love it.
I admire what they do. And they were on a 2 days on, 1 day on.
1 day on, 2 days off.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
2 days off schedule.
Correct.
Which left them quite a bit of time to do other things. Are you on that same schedule, and do you have free time that you could work on your governmental?
So luckily I am on the same schedule. I work 1 day on, 2 days off, and those 2 days off afford me the time I would need to dedicate to my council seat.
Which I think that's really important in this case, because one of the question that Councilwoman Long Robinson asked is involvement in
Other communities.
county government. There's a lot of committees and a lot of things that you could be involved in, and it requires a lot of time.
And luckily I have that time.
Yeah, and that was the reason for the question. I know that they were able to have time to do other things besides.
Absolutely. Many have other
work
jobs,
40 hours a
but
week.
I would like to work for the city.
Okay, thank you. Okay. We have any other questions? I'm surprised that Mr. Castle, you're in on this too, you know. You can ask any questions you'd like.
I appreciate it, Mr. Mayor, but part of my major job is to the councils that I receive, how to figure out how to work with them and make it happen. So I would not want to preface any say for who my council choice would be
Well,
or
no, I'm
anything
not
like
asking
that,
for
or
a
even
choice.
questions that would allude to that.
I wouldn't ask you for a choice, but I'd ask for those good questions that might be a good question to ask that maybe we weren't thinking about.
If I might come to Mr. Castle's
Yes, sir.
assistance.
Please.
In selections of this nature, city managers rarely involve themselves.
Okay.
It's really strictly
So
a
you-
council
So
decision.
don't talk.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
It's all yours. It's not mine this
I got
time.
I got the order from the real.
From the real boss over there. Yes,
guy
that's
running the
right.
meeting.
Certainly, Mayor, that wasn't an order. I was just trying to.
That's all right. Hold on just a second.
Thank you for extricating me, DJ.
Thank you.
In and out of the hot
Mr.
seat quick.
City Attorney. Okay, we'll move on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thanks, Sean.
Sir, Mr. Castoya,
Yes.
thank you for being here, sir. Thank you for getting involved.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Councilwomen, City Manager, City Clerk, City Attorney, members of the public. For the record, my name is Frank Castoya Jr. I'm a resident of the city of Westlake, reside at 15871 Meadowlark Court and Meadow Subdivision. As requested by the city clerk's office on November 24th, we submitted a short brief bio of myself and also of our professional business experience and some letters of recommendation. And at this point in time, I want to thank you for inviting me to present to you personally for your consideration and appointment to the vacant seat council number 1 for the city of Westlake for the tenure of January 2022 to, I believe, March 24. So I'm going to try to put 62 years of life into a real quick 5 minutes. But anyhow, I was born in Havana, Cuba in 1959, the 9th of December. This coming Thursday will be 62 years old. Yes, my birthday Thursday. In 59, so in May of 61st, we immigrated to this great country of ours, the United States. Getting away from a repressive tyranny, Castro regime. My father brought the family to Miami, Florida. In 61, I was mere 18 months old. We lived there till 72. In 72, he bought a business in Broward County, Amic Oil, jobbership, distributorship. He needed to be by Port Everglades, so we moved the family there in 72. I attended Plantation High School, graduated in 77, played baseball. I was on the wrestling team, played football for 4 years. We were a pretty good powerhouse back then. After I graduated in 77, went forward to college, and I graduated from University of Miami School of Architecture, May 1983. Going back to the high school days, my first year in college, I ran into a beautiful young lady. I met her. Her name is Alba Costoya. She's my wife, sitting right there. We dated for 7 years, and we got married on December 15th, 1985. That's right, right? So next week will be 84. And I tell you, next week will be 37 years married, 7 dating, 44 years. She gave me 3 of my most beautiful prized possessions. My daughter, Jacqueline, which is not here. She's a zoning attorney partner for Kelly Cronenberg. My beautiful daughter, Bianca, and a lovely son. She's a NICU nurse at Jupiter Medical Center. And Frankie's visiting us from Orlando over there. He's a software engineer. So after we got married, I worked for about 5 years for large firms. Reynolds Smith and Hills, one of the largest in the country back then. Finished with Smith, Korak, Hay, Haney partnership. I was fortunate to be a young architect and be the designer of Broward County Public Safety Complex. Back then, Nick Navarro was sheriff, and fire logistics, supplies, inventory. Also worked on Metro Day Police Headquarters, Sunrise Public Safety. So I did a lot of public work, school board work, airport work. 5 years later, I got the itch to hang my hat on the front door and open up my business. So 34 years later, I've been on business on my own. Presently, it's Frank Sawyer Architect PA, based out of Plantation. We're a boutique firm. We do private and public sector work for government work. We right now have over $100 million on the boards. I have sat on various homeowners, condo association, office condo association board directors, so I know what communities are looking for and all the issues. I was fortunate to be appointed to various positions. One of my proudest ones was appointed to the Board of Architecture and Interior Design and the Department of Professional Regulation, which consists of 7 architects, 2 interior designers, and 2 citizens at large. I served for 8 years, first appointed by Governor Charlie Crist, secondly appointed by then Governor, now Senator Rick Scott, Senate confirmation. Last 2 years, I served 2 8-year tenures. I served 2 years just to make sure while DeSantis was getting his house in order, so to speak, through COVID. I was also sat on the City of Plantation Code Enforcement Board for about 6, 7 years. I was fortunate to chair it 1 year. I was very fortunate to be asked to join a board of directors for a local community bank called Floridian Community Bank, based out of Davie. Sat on that board for about 8, 9 years, and we were first branch was literally in a trailer. We began with 10 million. We grew it organically in tough economic times to 6 branches, and we sold to Florida Community Bank for close to almost $600,000. They were about $1 billion. They in turn sold to Synovus. There was a lot of banking activity back then. You know, why am I doing this? Why do I want to be sitting there? As an architect, one of the most exciting things is when we design a project, you excavate, put steel in the ground, you start pouring concrete, you start seeing that thing grow like a flower. And when I first came looking for houses for my daughter and my son-in-law, and I drove through those 2 big monuments, and it was like, what is this? What's going on here? And I said, I got to be here. So we sold the house in Weston and Jupiter last year and built here, and we've been here for, we closed August of last year. Yeah, and so we're here. I see myself, I'm a very friendly guy. I plan to be involved in the community, not only my neighborhood walking around. Of course, there's Apple, but I think it would be good to have town shop meetings, if you will, open forums let citizens come and discuss open forums. I would love to serve in county agencies, a League of Cities. An avid fan of art and public spaces. We very dear to me is a group called ISHR, International Solidarity for Human Rights. Has to do with the 30 human rights the United Nations adopted in 1948. So I like all that kind of stuff. I basically what my position that I see in 2 years there, sitting back there and working as a team to make sure that we have consistent growth following the comprehensive master plan, ordered growth, quality of architecture, and that we create a sustainable tax base, because within 2 years, we're pretty much going to be on our own because the subsidies will stop. So these next 2 years, I see them as really critical years to, and I don't mean get the house in order, but make sure we're ready to go when we're out the gates, because the house is in order. What you guys have done here, leading this community and the developers, is really outstanding. So I thank you for your consideration, and I look forward to being appointed. And I'll take any questions you might have.
Sir.
All right. Fantastic presentation. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Resume is just as fantastic.
Thank you.
All right, so I have a fun one. Hypothetically, and assuming you had sole discretion, you received $1 million grant, and you had sole discretion on how to spend it. What would you do with the money and why?
Well, to give you, I'm not evading the answer, but to give you a direct answer would be kind of foolish on my behalf, without really getting to know the city and see what the needs are, where we're at, what really is needed. Is it recreation? Is it parks? Is it support services? Is it more law enforcement, fire, safety? Do we go for the city hall, or do we wait? Because that's maybe being a little bit selfish. So $1 million is an embellishment of areas of landscaping. I can't answer that directly right now. I would have to get myself educated with what's going on and where we're at today. There was a good question asked before, what would you do on the first day? Well, to be honest with you, one of my first things would be to get to know all of you, get to know staff, administration, the utilities department, our chief of police, our chief of fire, or they represent, and to listen to everybody. I'd love to travel the city with the city manager and see what the developments that are going on and what's going on, and get myself educated. So then I can make intelligent decisions as we move forward from the get-go.
The answer.
I was going to ask what you would do on the first day, but you just answered.
Yeah.
Those are great question. Highlight again on how you would plan to involve residents in the decision-making process.
Well, I think my job as sitting on the council, a city official, would be to try to encourage all residents to participate in government as much as possible. And like just the other day, I was at City of Fort Lauderdale council meeting, town of Davie, and the room was full. So I would love to someday see 100 residents sitting here and talking to us. No matter how much I beat the street, knock on doors, and go on Facebook, I think town shops, city hall, town meetings would be a pretty cool thing. Maybe we try one, and it would be maybe on different subjects. So we get to a point where we have bi-yearly. I don't know if that's an expense on the budget that wouldn't merit it, but just to let the people talk, come and talk to us in an open forum, above and beyond the formal setting, I think would be a neat idea that I would like to look at.
Thank you.
I noticed you have an extensive bio. I like to say my bio was too long, but I think you and I are neck and neck at our bio. We've got a lot of stuff going on. I noticed that you have done a lot of work as it relates to mixed use land development. And from what I read, you have a lot of knowledge on CRAs.
Right.
Talk to me about, of course, we aren't there yet in Westlake, but talk to me about your skill set of what you could bring to the dais as it relates to CRAs and incubator spacing.
Well, as a good example, right now, we're working a lot with the town of Davie on the CRA district, traffic-oriented corridor, which pretty much runs on Davie Road from Orange and Griffin north to 39th, which is the beginning of the Nova BCC campus. And there again, we have town charrettes, town meetings to see what the needs are, identify what are the needs for the people in terms of public transportation, pedestrian connectivity, open space, and basically affordable housing too. It's a very key component. So whenever there's a development, we want to make sure there's certain units allotted to that affordable or whatever the catchy name is nowadays in the marketplace. That because it's no mystery that South Florida has become probably one of the second or the third or the fourth most expensive real estate market in the country, even after California. So if we don't have affordable housing, we can't get the labor force, and we can't get so a lot of big corporations. So we have to have balance. When I see rents that are going for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, I just don't understand how people are paying that. Hence, kids graduate, get a degree, they owe a couple $100,000, and they're having to move in 2, 3, and 4 because they can't afford the rent. So CRA, yeah, we're not here, and I don't know if we grow in the future, if we annex, where it would be. I don't see it in Westlake in the near future, but kind of that revitalization of older areas and the areas being decayed, if you will, versus out west, that's where the CRA comes in a lot. We do a lot of affordable housing for a group called Tacolsi, which is in Miami, the technical advisory for the city of Liberty City. And after the fires back then, the group got together. And right now, for example, we're doing Edison Place, which is 4 buildings, 2 4 stories, 1 8, 1 12. It's about a $32 million job, which is federally funded through Miami-Dade County Housing Authority and also City of Miami. Beautiful building on 995, running 600 linear feet, parallel to a very nice modern base, And that's, and to call it affordable, I would put that in City Place or Las Olas on a hop and a scotch. It's so good looking, So good architecture, good planning.
You sound like you could be a very busy guy. And so my concern is about how much time you have to dedicate to the city. You said you're a smaller boutique firm.
Yes.
Staffing. I know I have a small business myself, and I find myself up to my ear a lot of times.
Well, we've learned a lot with these last 2 years, and as to how to answer your question, I have a lot of time. I'll be 62. My office is running very smoothly. I have great talent, young architects, guys and girls. I basically go down to Plantation only twice a week. The rest of the time I'm at home, sitting in my hobby room, looking out at the kids playing the cul-de-sac and shoot basketball and all that. But I have a lot of time. Being I'm not on the board of architecture anymore, in the bank anymore, I'm pretty much boardless. But yeah,
boardless, but not.
And I enjoy and I thrive on being busy all the time. That's just the way I am. But I have time, and I would be able to dedicate 100, and not 100%, of course, but the appropriate time needed to serve the community and the council correctly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
So from here, Mr. City Attorney, how do we proceed?
Respectfully, I would ask that you consider a procedure where you discuss amongst yourselves the candidates before you this evening. At appropriate time, one of you can make a motion, second it, you take a vote, If it's approved, then we would take up the resolution appointing that individual to the council to fill the unexpired term to March 2024.
Now, do we ask our questions amongst ourselves in front of everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This is a public meeting. This deliberation must be conducted in sunshine. So this is definitely in the public.
Okay. So let's talk.
I have a procedural suggestion. And it only goes because we'll be appointing one person here today, but the other two have to go battle it out at the polls.
Yeah.
So the last time we appointed anybody, we ranked our first, second, and third choices, and then we saw who overlapped where and whoever had the majority. This case, whomever we pick second very easily be considered an endorsement on the two remaining candidates that are running against each other. And I absolutely intend on making an endorsement at some point, but I wasn't planning on doing that today unless I had to. So I think procedurally, we should discuss everything we need to discuss and then choose our number ones. And then if we have to go to a round two to break a tie or whatever we have to do, then we go to a round two. And then say who our second choices are. But that's the way I think it should go down.
Vice Mayor, you make a very good point. A 2-2 vote's a denial.
Right.
A tie is a denial.
So if that's cool with everybody, we can discuss amongst ourselves and then we all pick our first choice and hopefully we have a majority on number one. And then that won't impact the
rest.
remaining election between the remaining two candidates. I'd really like to see how the campaign kind of shakes out. You know, we start some time to March. So is that amenable to everyone?
Fits me, all right.
So now we have the procedure down.
Yeah.
How do we want to,
Well, I would start off with saying that, first of all, I appreciate all the candidates getting involved here and going through the process. It's as Mr. O'Connor here has showed us how thick the book is. You went through a lot to get to where you are here today. And I thank you for that. For me, the knowledge and how to carry forward the city into the future and is the most important part in knowing procedure and being able to have time to be involved. If I'm at this point, I won't say until it's the time has come up as to put our number on. But that part of it's very important. Of course, city being able to be involved in government or county government and go to meetings and be involved that way is also very, very important. Every point that everyone has made and what they want their involvement to be or where they feel they can put their most effort into is all just.
Clear those purple trash cans, please, folks. Thank you so much.
Forward.
Thank you. Sima.
Okay.
¿Ves? ¿Dónde está?
Got it, Zoe?
So again, without picking our person yet, I just want to say that certainly is not going to be an easy decision. It's not an easy decision. And I want everybody to know that I would be absolutely honored sitting next to any of the three candidates. Three incredibly unique candidates. One of them is a public servant, firefighter, and I think we have many firefighters who live in our city. The other one is an expert architect. Another one is a healthcare nurse at a local hospital. I would absolutely be honored to have any of you guys fill that seat. And I think it's important to mention, we're going to get two for the price of one here. Because we'll end up with two of them. So that's something important to know. I'll let everybody kind of say their thing, and then maybe I'll say
Something else.
who I want to go with and why, but maybe somebody will change my mind, so.
I know, I'm so torn. I have two people that I'm very torn between. I think diversity is very important for us to keep on the council. I really like Pilar's focus on the health education for kids. The website idea is awesome. And Julian, I love the dedication to public service, the incentive. They both have incentives for outdoor activities. They incentivize that. I love that. So those are the two I'm torn between. Putting it out there.
It's the second.
So for me, and this is never an easy feat, something of this nature, you know, I think when we were appointed, it wasn't easy, right? Because you're trying to identify what people's strengths are. And a lot of this, if we think about it, when you're serving in politics or serving in government, rather, it is on the job training, right? So it's a lot of, once you get here and you do the reading, you think you're prepared, but this is really on the job training. You're learning new every day. I do like the fact that I do acknowledge that we need diversity. I think Westlake needs to continue having diversity. I do like the fact that you may have a mom on the dais, right? I think Pilar, she is a mom, and I'm torn as well. Between several of them, but you are getting, they're still kind of win-win in a sense, right? And so, for me, I do like the fact that we could have possibly, you will have someone running for seat 4 who is unopposed, and that is a male. You do an excellent job, Vice Mayor, but you are a male.
You're gonna steal what I'm gonna say.
We have males that are female. And so for me, I like the diversity and replacing a female with a female, because you do have so many men stacked in it. That's kind of where I am right now.
So, I mean, you almost took the words directly out of my mouth. Basically, I was gonna say that this is basically a chess game, guys. We've got Mr. Langowski, who's gonna be on the board. We've got myself. And again, I'd be happy to serve next to anybody who applied. But if we appoint either Mr. Pistoria or Mr. Martinez, you're absolutely right. We end up with a 4-male, potentially all male council. I think it's incredibly important that this dais, this council, is a mirror image of the body of citizens that we're here to represent. It should be as diverse as the city that we are here to represent. And if we have the opportunity now to lock in a female, empower a woman, let them battle it out at the polls, we're going to end up with one of them. That is the sole reason that I would pick one over the other. We really have a unique opportunity here to lock in female for this council, and for at least the next 2 years. So that's my decision. Pilar is my number one choice.
Okay, so you got one.
Would you have a motion?
You have a motion.
I'll make the motion to appoint Ms. Valeron to the council. To serve the
Second
remainder of
motion.
that. Good. You have a second? Yes.
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 Mr. Mayor, if I might at this time read the resolution for the formal appointment. A resolution by title only, a resolution, City Council, City of Westlake, Florida, appointing Pilar Vale Ron as a city council member of the City of Westlake to fill the vacancy created by the resignation of Patrick Paul, providing the individual appointed to the council shall serve to the city council member elected at the next regularly scheduled city election, determined by the City Council to be March 2024, sworn into office, providing for conflict, severability, and providing for an effective date.
Motion has been made, motion has been seconded, and the motion has been voted on.
No, now you would adopt the resolution, if you would, please, by motion.
Make the motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes.
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 Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations on your appointment.
I am so sorry I wasn't able to be there today. It was kind of surprising to me. So I had something going on, but I'm very, very excited and I'm looking forward to work with all of you. Thank you.
So we'll see you at the next council meeting in January.
Absolutely. Yes.
And,
You have to be sworn,
and Pilar,
sworn in.
city attorney will be reaching out to you regarding, sunshine laws and some of the other legal aspects that you have to accomplish as you're being appointed, as you come on board, along with the city clerk and myself. We'll be reaching out and providing you information.
Toward that end, we'll work with the city clerk to coordinate some times available to speak to you about sunshine law, public records, ethics, and the city charter, along with the city code of ordinances, and answer any questions you may have regarding the governance of the city of Westlake.
You, city attorney. Gentlemen, thank you for putting your time in. And we'll look forward to seeing one of you setting up at the dais with the rest of the council.
Hey.
Yeah.
It's the election.
Yeah, March 8th, it's the election. We're gonna move on to the Housing Assistance Program, and I believe Vice Mayor O'Connor is gonna.
Yes, I asked for this to be added to the agenda. Guys, we keep talking about happy reform. We keep discussing how we need to reform the happy program. We've workshopped it. Besides the one motion I made, changing the limit, we haven't actually done anything about this. Meanwhile, we're selling homes at a record pace. We have had some recent happy closings, but those were put into the system a year ago. There's not a single product as it sits right now that qualifies for the happy program. This is a two-part thing. So first part is, as of November 30th, which was last week, Department of Housing and Urban Development, FHA limits and guidelines in a low-cost area, $420,680.
Crazy.
That is directly from HUD. I don't even know that if we raised it to that amount, we would still have a home that qualifies. But it's a start. So, I mean, we can make the motion, but we're even for even numbers sakes, I would recommend that we make it 421,000 in guidance with the FHA limits for a first-time buyer in a low-cost area in order to try and get some people into homes. Second part is, we have this Hometown Hero program. We don't. The builder has it, where they'll give 3% of the home to government workers, healthcare workers, teachers, first responders, and I love that program, and I love the fact that when you drive down our streets, every other home is a marked government law enforcement car. I spent a lot of time with our guys over this weekend. I think it's incredible. But the one class, and probably the most important class that we left out with that program, was our military. It doesn't account for them. We do zero for our military. And when people think of Westlake, I want them to think of the city that supports its troops and has their back. While we're having barbecues for Memorial Day and Veterans Day, these guys are out there securing our freedom. They're not there with their families having those barbecues. So at the very least, when people think of Westlake, I want them to know that we have our troops back. So I'd like to direct staff, and I want to have their back in a big way. I'd like to direct staff to come up with a program that uses some of those happy funds to directly support any military retiree, active, anybody who's honorably discharged from the military, any veteran that would at least be similar to the Hometown Hero program. I don't know why they were omitted from that program. It doesn't make sense to me, but we have an opportunity here to fix that. So I hope my colleagues on the council would agree with me. Whatever that program looks like, I'll leave that up to staff, whether it's a percentage off, whether it's a grant. But every day this account grows, and we can't spend a penny of it. So, and I don't know if that needs to be a motion.
Oh, I think you have to make a motion for staff to look at this.
Well, I think the consensus is clear to give staff direction to proceed.
Yep.
Consistent with the vice mayor's comments.
Yes.
But I would like a motion for, if you're going to increase the limits of the happy, I would like that.
That's it.
But are we in consensus with the military program?
Yes.
Yes, but I thought, hold on a second, and I thought we directed you before to come back to us with some
Right.
programs.
Other programs, yes. We were going to be looking at seniors and some others, but we have not come back with that yet. We can add that into the happy program as well with the veterans.
Okay, so could it be that you have a program exclusively for your veterans?
I'd like to see that.
And so when you come, can you come back to, what month is this? This is
This is
December.
December.
So can you come back to us January with, can we workshop what it looks
We
like?
can workshop it in January.
Yeah, because I can't remember when we directed staff to do this, but
It was a while ago.
we directed staff to do it, but they just never came back with the final product of what was identified for it. So Vice Mayor can get an exclusive program for veterans, which will not coincide with what is already in place. And then, because we talked about Wellington has like 4 programs, we said we could at least do 2 or 3.
A lot of those were for seniors and repairs of homes, et cetera, which we don't really have at this point in time. So trying to find something that they would qualify for, but it may be a seniors program as well as a veterans program. We can look at that and discuss it and see if we can work it into the happy program legally, as we have, what we might have to modify.
I think a standalone program for the military is an easy thing to come up with. We'll find a percentage.
It's the funding, it's tying it to the funding source
Right.
is the key that we have to work through.
Well, that's why we have this great legal team.
Yeah.
So anybody with a DD 214 gets taken care of. I want us to show up for our military in a big way.
Do we know what the townhomes price schedule is going to be yet?
They haven't been released yet.
No,
Not specifically.
Yeah, It definitely has to be raised. Look at what's happened over the last year with the cost of housing. It just,
November
we,
30th.
we put this program together 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, something like,
Almost
has it been that long?
Yeah, it's almost from
Oh
the
my
beginning.
gosh. Then over the last 4 years, we know what the cost of living has gone up and the cost of building and so on. And the program really hasn't been, we haven't done much. We have done some.
We've
We
done,
haven't.
we've done a number. I'll have the total number that we've helped so far in a report. But one of the things that's been my concern is the revenues are coming in. The intent is to help as many as we can into the homes for the first time, et cetera, in that assistance program. That is the key. And to just have the dollars, we would be nothing more than the county in
Right.
their program that didn't put anything on the street. At least we've put a number on the street, but I want to make sure that the majority of those funds are constantly going back into people coming into homes.
Well, yes, and the county has collected a lot of money that they have never spent,
Correct.
a lot.
And I want to
It-
make sure
we're
that this goes where it's supposed to be.
compared to what they have. And have it funded, so. But we do, it is time to rework the program to get it to where they're to today's standards.
I like even numbers. I'll make the motion that we raise the cap on the Happy program to $425,000.
I'll second.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
Boom. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
We needed that.
now we'll come back with the military suggestion.
And the other programs too. I want to see what those look like.
Yep. Okay, thank you. Council comments.
Okay, so just a couple. If possible, so we have the mayor's ball coming up. And that will be February 5th, 2022. And this year it is honoring our first responders. Mayor Kerner, well, it's Line Rock now, but Mayor Kerner will be highlighted for his tenacity and his leadership throughout the county. So several municipalities have purchased tables in response to just showing our local heroes, which are first responders, appreciation and love. And so I was wondering if, I did speak with our city manager. He said we do have money allocated.
That's gonna be my question.
The table is allocated of $3,000, but if we could, that could be our contribution to the county. These funds go towards the homeless coalition, which feeds into, we have a very serious homeless concern here in Palm Beach County, throughout the county. We're the richest, poorest county. And so these funds will go towards low-income housing and affordable housing in areas that need it. So these services go to the Lewis Center and things of that nature for our homeless populations. 2 facilities have been built in the Western community. These funds all go towards there. So the county and municipalities, this is where those monies go. But Mayor's Ball is in February, which everyone is hopefully going to be.
Those funds would be taken out of this year's budget or next year's?
This year's budget.
Cheers.
And because we've been on total lockdown for COVID, that would come out of what, the events budget, that we didn't spend that money because we didn't get to do anything?
Well, each council member had a stipend anyhow.
We
Did we
have,
allocate a
we
stipend?
have, I will find.
I just want to make sure we can afford it.
I will find the appropriate line item to pull it from.
Okay,
I didn't
fair
get an
enough.
invitation this year.
We'll get it. They sent one, but I'll make sure that everybody gets it.
Yeah, I have one in the mail.
I don't have any mail on my desk today, so.
Great.
Hopefully I get one.
Okay, perfect. And my next comment very quickly. City manager, I know we talked about, someone from Westlake serving on the TPA, or serving at the TPA meetings. because we're moving forward in a great direction and everyone will be living in the city, is it possible we could try to get mayor-elect to serve on that? Who represents the city on that council right now?
Well, we don't actually have a representative seat on it. What we
Okay.
do is we have the traffic engineer attend the meetings and report back as to what's going on and if there's something we need to be alert for. But I believe if we could get the mayor-elect on it or somebody from the council on the TPA would be a good thing for us in the western communities. It is an appointment from the county,
Right.
whether it's the county mayor or county commission. I can't remember who does the appointments, but they're kind of reserved on their seats and they're hard to break into.
Right.
But I
Maybe
think
an
we can,
alternate even.
again,
So
So
a county commissioner can appoint him to serve,
I believe so.
someone has to come off before someone else can go on, is my understanding.
right?
And maybe with your influence, you might be able to speak to the appropriate people. And if someone comes off, maybe able to get someone on.
Sure.
That's how it's done. It's my understanding.
Perfect. Can maybe the mayor-elect or someone from, we do have the young man who was here this evening, he serves on our planning and zoning, but can we have someone, preferably mayor-elect, at least attend those meetings
Oh, I'm happy
so
to.
that he can know
Right.
and
Well,
hear?
we can notify you of the meetings.
Perfect.
Anyone can go to the meeting.
Right.
Yeah, I've been to
So,
TPA meetings. I've been to them.
Okay, we can work on it.
I think there's nine commission seats and the
Yeah.
rest are made up of mayors and vice mayors.
Right.
And only, I'm saying that, city manager, only because we have the issue now between Palm Beach Gardens and the Western community with expansions and. So we
North
need-
Lake.
Yeah.
Yes.
Someone from here will need to be able to hear and
Yes.
know what's going on and
Correct.
maybe have a voice.
SR7 is on there, on the TPH 5-year plan.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I'd be happy to. But we got to figure out whose arm to twist to get me on.
Councilwoman Crowe.
I just want to thank you all for a very productive, that was a smooth meeting tonight. I just wish everybody happy holidays.
Thank you. Vice Mayor.
I just want to wish everybody, I won't see you guys before the holidays, so certainly wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and really just, I got to iron this down. Thank everybody on this council for their leadership. That was a tricky one. We showed some leadership, and thank you for supporting me with the military program. It's certainly near and dear to my heart, and again, why they were omitted to begin with doesn't matter
Who knows?
anymore because we're gonna fix it.
Yeah.
At the city level. We have the opportunity to do that. So thank you guys, honestly. Thank you.
Moving on to me. I want to wish everybody a happy holidays, happy new year. It'll be a new year the next time we're here. Believe it or not. And it certainly has been a trying year. Things will be better. Things will be better. I want to thank our city manager for doing a fantastic job. There's a lot of balls to juggle there, especially with the way that things move and how quickly things move in this city. And Mr. City Attorney, thank you for your input and your direction that I need every time you're here.
Thank you, sir.
And I appreciate you being here. Thank you, sir. Everybody, happy holidays, happy new year, and move on to any staff reports this evening.
Mr. Attorney first.
I'd just like to thank you all for the opportunity to be here and serve as your interim city attorney. It's been the most interesting experience. You're a cohesive group. You have tremendous potential ahead of you. And it's a pleasure to be able to work with such dedicated public servants. I wish you the very best in the holidays and most importantly, a very productive new year.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Castle.
Only have a couple things this evening. First, again, I'd like to thank all of you for this past year, working through all the issues we've had. Wish you all a happy holidays, Merry Christmas. And yes, it was a light meeting, but January we'll pick back up heavy again. We have a number of items for you. Again, it's not slowing down, it's getting faster.
Heavy meeting.
Yeah.
A lot.
Heavy for you, light for me. One of the things that came to my attention today, which is a total false report that's out there, is somebody's reporting that Crestwind has its own water treatment system, et cetera, for Crestwind.
I thought
And that is a total bogus, whatever. There is nothing of that sort out there.
Water there. They photoshopped I thought it was hilarious, personally.
But anyway, that is a total.
I appreciate it.
Total bogus operation that's going on. The culvert project for crossing it down at Sycamore is completed. Final striping will be done in the next couple of days, so we're all done with that. One thing that is going on that some residents have asked questions about is the building department is going through its ISO rating. So we will be trying to get our building department rated. The better our building department is rated with ISO, that actually directly impacts insurance premiums on homes. Because the better our building department is rated, the lower the insurance premiums. So we are working diligently with the building department. We have a review, I believe, either tomorrow or Wednesday to get our ranking. So we'll be working very diligently to get as best ranking we can. And that's all I have.
I think going to a computerized system would really increase that.
They're more interested in the homes values process.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir. We're now open to public comment.
I have my hand raised. I don't know if you could hear me.
Yes.
Okay. May I speak at this time?
Yes.
Oh, great. Thank you so much to the council. Appreciate all the work that you guys do. My name is Annie Rodriguez Tapquero, 5991 Whippoorwill. I just want to comment on the applicants for the council. I do know Julian and Peely, amazing people. And I know we're going to be greatly served by Peely and also Julian if he makes it on the board. But I really just want to say that I want to encourage Mr. Costoya, no matter what happens in the election, I would love to see Mr. Costoya involved in the council or in the community in some way, because it's incredibly impressive what he will bring to the table and the asset that he would be to the community. And although I do understand about diversity, I believe that experience and qualifications is an enormous weight when applying for something. And I think it would be a loss to us if Mr. Costoya is not involved with our community. So I just wanted to say that, and to also say that I was very impressed with his answer. If anybody knows me, I'm always talking about servant leadership. And when he answered, I believe it was JP, that he could not answer the question because he first heard from the council. I just wanted to commend them on that because that's the kind of leadership we need. Either way, all three great people. Thank you for their qualification. And again, thank you for the amazing job that you guys continue to do.
Thank you very much.
Julian Martinez, 5935 Bun Bush Drive. My question is for Mr. Castle.
Yes.
As far as ISO ratings, that was for which buildings?
For the building department itself.
Oh, for the building that they will be working?
Yes, in other words, the building department also gets rated
Mhm.
so that it's similar to a fire rating or,
Correct.
or the others. The better they're rated, the better your insurance premiums are.
Mhm.
So it's a rate, it's same rate, similar rating process.
Correct. So you're saying the building they're going to work out of?
No, the building department itself, the operations of the building department for the city is what's being evaluated.
Okay. Is there anything in our codes that sets the standards for us to stay at class 1?
Florida building code is what we got to do, and then we'll be working for there to go forward.
Okay. Well, I'm asking if there's anything written that, if we have anything written that would keep us at the top level that we would want to be to stay at class 1 versus
This
if
is
we
our
were
first,
fair-
this is our first evaluation.
Okay.
As we see where we're at,
Mhm.
we'll figure out how to make sure we go up from there.
Got it. Understood. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Zoe, for your efforts here, and thank you, everyone, and have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, yeah, and also Happy New Year. We will be back in January. Take care, everyone.
Holidays.
We're gonna
Happy
adjourn at
holidays to everybody. Happy
we're gonna
holidays.
adjourn 8:06.
I want to say happy holidays to everybody and thank you. And I see you in January.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you can have this one.